Zoom webinar for this meeting, which allows the public to participate in the meeting as an attendee. The chair can request that members of the public provide their names for purposes of keeping accurate meeting minutes of the meeting. Attendees will join in listening mode, and we ask that everyone display their names correctly. Attendees can click the raise hand button if they wish to speak. The chair will call on those who have raised their hands in the order they are raised. All questions should be directed to the chair. Please note that this meeting is being recorded. Please be aware that other people may be able to see you, and take care not to share screen, your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. So I would like to call to order the Nantucket Land Bank Commission regular meeting of November 25, 2025. And we are going to convene an open session. And do I have a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Go to public comment, and for those who are on screen and can't see, we'll just go around the room and introduce who's here. Can you give your name for the public?
Absolutely. Shavana Mahoney.
Great, thank you. Okay, so public comment and staff announcements.
Hold on for 1 second. I just lost the Zoom. Hold on for 1 second, please. Thank you. Okay, got it back. Just wanted to make sure it didn't go completely away. Thank you.
Any public comment or staff announcements?
There's no public comment online.
I have a public comment. Recently, as you all know, I'm passionate about public access. I feel very strongly that it needs to be protected in Nantucket now more than ever. And land bank property is purchased with public dollars and should be the benefit of the public. I was recently told of a situation where neighbors are verbally deterring people from legally parking in a land bank public area on Hallowell Lane. That is currently incredibly concerning to me. I'd like the staff to look into this and consider putting it on a future land bank meeting agenda. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
What's the address?
It's when you go down Hinkley, and there's a parking lot there, but it's covered in shells and it looks like a private parking lot. And then one of the abutters has been putting up signs saying land bank land, private parking. It's behind here, and there's a little it does look. I'd like to remove the triangle, but I'd like it if you're all comfortable putting on the agenda for future meeting.
Thank you. We will move on to golf business and turn it over to Sean and Matt.
Okay, you guys, I think do you guys want to follow the agenda? How would you like to proceed going forward? Because the agenda, I think, had rates first. You guys want to stick with that first?
Whatever you
You're
want.
comfortable?
You tell me what you'd like.
Yeah, we'll stick right with the
So,
agenda.
so these are the proposed rates for both golf courses for next year. And you have in your packet, correct? Everybody has.
I'm just gonna bring it up. So you're gonna have to tell me which one.
Well, those are coming up. The highlights, we are not proposing an increase to the public rates for 18 or 9 hole play at my comment or at Wisconsin. So the public rates will stay the same for the second year in a row. The last increase was from 24 to 25. So those won't change. The other highlight, some of the other categories, cart rentals, pull carts are de minimis, if any increases. The membership, the single regular and the family regular membership at my comment were proposed an increase of 5%. And then for the single and family legacy, which are the same benefits, but it had a lower basis, increase those by the same dollar amount. So the same dollar amount is basically being reflected across the board, even though it's a smaller percentage for the regular. And so it works out to be about 8% for the legacy. But we think it was important that the actual dollar amounts are the same, even though the percentages are different, because the old legacies were starting at a lower basis from multiple years of no increases. So that was the highlight while this was being pulled up. But
I thought it was quite reasonable.
There's some small increases in there, and like Matt said, it's the best part about this, you guys can see, it's very transparent about where we've been for the past 5 years, where the numbers are kind of heading towards. And like Matt said, the membership rates, we don't want to space it out too much. We don't want the regular membership to get too far ahead of the singles being, the legacy members and then the regular members. So we're trying to keep that in respect to each other. So that's where it's at. The residents stay the same. Twilight stays the same. There's certain things that we kind of see where a lot more locals are around, so we're trying to keep that the same. The only thing, resident discount card is going to go up, maybe if you guys decide, from 125 to 150. So everything else basically for a resident stays similar. We haven't got up in range balls, that kind of stuff. We're getting to the point now. Small increases, like Matt said.
Anybody have any comments?
So we're going up 5%. And what did we do last year?
Last year it was, we went from six for the family, we went from 6,800 to 7,030, 6,830 to 7,035. Let me get my thing up.
Well, that was good. You could either give me in numbers or percentages. That's
Yeah, I'll give you the,
You can
I had it, that's what I was
scroll down a little bit, he can see
Yeah,
them.
I don't know if you wanted me to go up it.
That's it right there.
okay. There we go. Thanks.
So you get your single regular
All right. I can see
2024, yeah, 37.
okay, it was a 3% increase from 24 to 25 for the regular categories.
Well, I agree with Neil. I think that's well in line. I thought I remember there was being some bitching last year, and I can't remember.
It was a couple of years ago when we did a more of a pretty good jump.
Oh, that's when it was?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was a few years ago, and we did, I think it was about a 17%, I think, one of the first years. And then since then, we've been pretty
Oh, that's what it was.
keeping it around that 5%, with the older ones getting a little bit more percentage-wise, but being the same amount.
All right, thank you.
I mean, the golf experience is incredible here, and the greens, the fairways, amazing. Golf. I mean, you've got to buy new golf balls for the driver. I mean, it's all. I can't think of anything that's coming down on that side of right now.
No, in the resident rate, the $150 rate it's not cheap, but compared to a resort quality golf course off island, it's commensurate with that. I mean, if anything, there's some that are much higher than that off island. And so it's a pretty good value. It's not cheap, but it's a good value.
So I just have one comment if it,
Up here.
yeah, there. While I do agree with you, it's a resort style, it's a resort level golf course. I feel that residents don't have any other options and this is their only public golf course. So I would like to try to keep it cheap or as cheap as possible. I see there on the winter and the residents, you stayed the same for 2 years and then you went up, which is the same as you're doing for the 18 and 19 holes. I would like to see the same thing. I would like to see those stay the same this year and then go up next year. So you have 2 years at the same, 2 years at the same.
So the 925, keep it at 900, and then the resident card, which is a one-time purchase to qualify. Just keep, okay.
That's my recommendation. You guys can have any opinion you want.
So then if we do that every 2 years, instead of it just being a minimal 3 to 5% jump, it's going to look like an 8 to 10% jump.
Well, here it was 850 to 900. I don't know what those percentages are, but I would prefer not to see those go up at all. I mean, ever, but that's just, I mean, you can't have it ever, never, but it didn't make sense to me why the resident in winter were going up, but the 18 and 9 and greens fees weren't going up. The greens fees weren't going up. They were staying the same for 2 years. So I didn't understand why the winter and residents were getting hit with an increase when the greens fees weren't.
Don't forget, they're giving us a huge check, a year. If we give it a little less, it wouldn't bother us.
That's a good point.
Mind by me?
I think it's being so well managed and the numbers are being watched so well and you guys are doing an amazing job. And we don't necessarily want to hit net zero net profit, but I think that there's enough room to keep the prices lower.
I can score that.
Yeah, I can as well. My question about that was I didn't want to see a giant jump.
Yep.
Next year.
Yeah, 2027.
Incremental jumps are always much more palatable. But I'm happy to go by that. Agree with that.
then, to that same point, the summer membership at Sconset, we had proposed going from 900 to 950. The last 2 years, 2023, 2024 was at 850 for 2 years, then went to 9 this year under the same philosophy to keep that at 9.
I would say so, at least for this coming year. I mean, as you said, you've done really well out there and it's getting really popular. And I don't think that we're not a private company that would be just raising the prices to keep the volume down. I think that we should keep the prices low, and if we have to manage how many people can get on there, then we have to manage how many people can get on.
Yeah, none of these changes will have any negative effect. We can manage through it.
Alan, do you have anything? Anybody else?
So that's you would like to amend that.
I would like to amend those 3 lines.
You need a vote. for
We haven't voted on the first. Yeah.
So to summarize it, the winter membership would remain at 900. The resident discount card, which is a one-time purchase every year, would remain at 125. The summer membership at Sconset would remain at 900. Okay.
Now, if we agree on that, do we need a vote on the rates? So,
I think
okay, do we have a motion with those amendments?
I'm gonna abstain.
Oh, you're saying.
Oh, motion to approve.
And Alan second. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, John abstaining.
We're gonna move to the Sconset budget.
Concept project.
On the budget, we bring that up, you'll see we have the original, we actually have 2024 actual shown, the budget for 25, the projected year end for 25, and then the budget for 26. The projected year end for 25 is through basically September with our estimates for the last quarter. So there's a little bit of inexactness there, but we think it's close enough. So the key thing here is we're proposing, like us, before we get to that, 2025, as you'll recall, was a terrible spring, a wet spring. Numbers were way down. And then the summer came and we had the drought and we had almost 0 rain days so no loss of dates. So with the exception of the spring, it was pretty much a perfect weather year as far as getting golfers out in the course without rain dates. So we want to be fairly conservative for next year and not peg projections off of this year without any rain in the summer months. So we're trying to be conservative at both courses. So we think you'll see that here. We're actually, our budget for next year is just de minimis, but slightly down from actuals this year because we don't think the golf and weather is going to be more favorable. Hopefully we'll do better in the springtime. So we're being conservative, I think, on that side. I mean, really almost rounding error, but we're keeping it flat on the revenue side. Essentially the same on the expenses. So you go down through. On G&A, we're budgeting a little bit higher on G&A payroll. We're allocating a little bit more of Sean's time to Sconset from my comment because he's spending more time on that as well. So it's an internal allocation back and forth. And other than that, we're trying to keep it as flat as we can. So it's about a 1%. I take back my glass up. It's about a 10% difference, where we think we're going to come in this year to last year, at net operating income wise before depreciation.
So as you guys know, we had a really good summer this year. What we're just trying to do is just curb it a little bit, just make sure we're not going to put all our eggs in one basket and say, yeah, we're having another 2025 all over again. I think expense wise, we're going to come in very close. I think 2025 was a great experience for us, as in where are we expense wise? Where are we going with payroll taxes, with the insurances? We're moving certain things up as we explained to you guys, throughout the year. So I think we're there. And I think that's what this reflects is basically it's a 2025. We're going to kind of almost play it back, but we're going to curb our summer if it turns out really good, you guys know how this works.
That's great.
We'll come back and report and I'll come back with very good numbers, which is trust me, what I'm hoping for.
So
So
as John pointed out, you did come in with a rather large check.
that helps.
Yeah.
So we like to do that every once in a while. Every once in a while, that helps.
Putting green seems to be coming pretty well.
It's going, yeah, my comments, putting green is going in. Oh, a couple things. I'll probably get to those in the Wisconsin one at the end. Never mind, sorry.
Okay.
We're jumping down.
Go to any questions on the Wisconsin budget for next year? We'll go to the Minecraft budget next.
On my comment, well, that's being brought up again, we're being conservative. We basically are holding the revenues flat to 2025, although actually slightly down, but 2025, we had 300,000 in ERC money that came in. Now you recall we had 750,000 total. Half of it came in 2024, the balance came in this year. So it's hitting in our miscellaneous revenue line. So we're obviously not counting on that. That's not recurring anymore. So you'll see the $374,000 difference from last year to next year in miscellaneous income. That's primarily that. So we're keeping essentially rounds and revenue flat to 2025. Again, trying to be conservative. We'll keep the cost of goods sold percentages about the same. Payroll, relatively minimal increase. We do have one brand new position we're bringing on as essentially a property maintenance person. So we have a new full-time person on that side. We've been shopping credit card processing rates, health insurance, again, all the stuff we can try to control. We've been shopping that to try to save money. We think we can bring our credit card processing from about 3.7 down to 3.2 in that range, certainly in the food and beverage side for card present transactions. So we're trying to, the expression we use is, if we mind that if we watch the pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves. We're trying to really watch where we can. And so if you go down to the bottom line of the projected 2025, it's 475,000, but that doesn't, that has the depreciation added back. If you look at budget, no, I take that back, 1.2. But if you go to our budget 2026 of 775, if you added back in the ERC money, or you pulled it out from 2024, it would basically be flat. So we think our cash flow would be about $750,000 for 2026.
So again, I think when we went through this, when we were a little bit, hesitant, it was a good summer. Same thing, Wisconsin. So we were a little hesitant. I think, at the end of the day, I think we're going to do much better than this. I got a feeling that we were conservative. So I think that's good, on this end. I think towards the end of the year, I think spring is always tough. I think our August, we can do better than this. And I think in September, it depends on how our tournament schedule goes and when we aerate greens, how we dictate what the price is. If we end up aerating greens right after member gas, we can't charge the full amount because our greens have got holes in them. So we go to a discounted rate. So I think that's where our summertime, we're just going to extend it into fall this year a little bit better. So I think this is a conservative number and I think we can do, and I'm happy with this. So
it's kind of interesting in the fall, kind of September, October schedule, just the timing of member guest aeration and then the member guest not conflicting with one of the Jewish holidays. Just that decision alone is like a $50,000 decision net. So we're trying to juggle the dates of how far back we think we can push the aeration.
yeah, it's crazy.
Big number.
I know, that's why it's kind of funny how it shakes out this year.
Any questions on the Minecraft budget? Okay. Moving on to your draft tournament schedule.
Probably vote the budgets.
I have a motion to approve the budgets. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, so we'll go to the tournament schedule.
Tournament schedule was a little tougher. It's very similar in 2025. So that worked out in a way. The one catch that we've got is in September. Our member guest is moving later in the season. It's not the end of the world. It's nothing major about it other than it's staying away from a couple holidays and then it kind of falls into the one slot. What we find is at the beginning of September, weather's a little bit better. Towards the end of September, it gets a little bit dicey. So we always try to keep it away from too far deep into September. But this is kind of where we ended up with. And I think it'll work out fine. We're still going to get 100% in a wait list. It's still going to be, you know, a lot of people in there. But that's the one thing. We're trying to keep it away from the holidays, trying to move it through. So I think our September, at the end of this, we're going to come up ahead.
So you're moving it earlier or later?
Later.
Later.
I'll show you in September here.
Maybe.
But our May is the same. We're not adding anything new in here either. The women's club championship is around the same time in July, and we held a women's invitational, which was new. I think we added that 2 years ago. A one-day women's invitational, which turned out to be huge. I mean, it's open to everybody. It's in July. Worked out really well. So we're going to kind of roll that back too. So nothing's really added in new, just the dates kind of shifted around a little bit. At one point, we were thinking about taking our member guests and putting it into August, but we kind of decided that wasn't a good idea. You guys have been very good with, you know, just keep July and August free. Just get as many people through there as you can, figure it out. So I think this is where we ended up falling into, was a little bit later in May. I mean, a little later in September.
I just remember last year we had, or this year, we had some complaints that they did people, how many days is the course going to be closed? That would be good to publicize. I'm not necessarily against it, but I think we have to have a better way of getting the message out.
Yep. So we will post this in our club and we send it out for an email. As soon as this gets okayed, we'll put this basically as many places as we can. But what happens is just that, like you end up, you put it somewhere, you forget about it, and then you're not sure. You know, it's closed for members only on certain days. And on other days it's open to the public, and other days are signed. You can't sign up for it. So in other words,
Some of these days, it's not a full course closure all day either.
correct.
Right. That's,
We always try to open if we can too. Like if we can put either a scotch ball or something else in there, that's what we will try to do. Or we're open for public. In a worst case scenario too, is we may end up saying you can't take carts. You know, 64 carts go out that morning. You can't take carts, but we'll open the course at 2 o'clock for walking only. And if you guys want to, you can go out there at that point in time too. So
thank you.
yeah, these are the dates.
So that was my only question is, it seemed like there were a lot of tournaments, a lot of red on here, and I just was curious if it was the same amount as last year.
It's the same amount. So the May one is the club championship for the men's, which is the first day for the men's is a lot. There's a lot of guys.
Mhm.
Then it starts to half right away. So the next day's half, next weekend is half. So the amount of tee times that they take up is very minimal towards the end, which works out very well.
Actually, and the member guests for both the ladies and the men is really the primary benefit of membership, other than having the ability to use slight discounts and purchases and being able to have a charge account. There are no other benefits of membership. You don't have a locker room or some of the other benefits you'd have at other clubs. So this is kind of the main thing that they get, other than dollar cost averaging their play. But so it's important. They sell out with the wait list.
Yep, they'll do very well.
So if I just go onto the website, I'm looking at vacation in August. I see all this quite clearly.
Yes, you will see it on the website. It'll be right there. And then what we'll also try to do, Mark, is you know that thing on the inside, that wall, when you walk into the golf shop, it's kind of those in between the two doors. We'll also have a calendar up there too of like things that are going on for the month. And then we'll have certain days will be shut down, you can see. So we'll try to keep as transparent as we can.
Right. I believe when, like Neil said, when some of those complaints came in this year, it was someone that had arrived on island just that week.
Yep.
Hadn't booked at your site.
Yep.
So in August, we only have one thing, which is not even a golf event, right? That's just
Correct. It's just a member appreciation.
So we've
party.
no closures in August, and then July, the women's event on July 13th is open to anybody, which is good. And then the women's club championship, that's the only thing that is closed.
And we had 4 participants.
Yep.
So it's only 2 tee times, and we just put that in the rate of the day.
Okay.
It's not closed, which is the hard part, which is why when you look at it, it's like members only.
Yeah.
Like Christina said, it's like fair. So you've got, 2 things going on in July, but there's only 4. Maybe there's 6 people that'll play in that one. So
It sounds like you're trying to educate more people, the island, everything, and I'm very comfortable with
yeah, it's tricky. It is, it's tricky, because you go by this and then you're hoping that there's no rain days, you're hoping everything goes off the right way. And you're hoping that this works out right.
Any other questions on the schedule?
No, I think you're on the right track there. We were all concerned about this getting escalated, but I'm glad to hear it's not.
Yeah, we're hoping to. We definitely hear you. We definitely hear you. Appreciate that.
I think we, yeah.
Do I have a motion to accept the tournament schedule?
So moved.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for all that hard work. I know it takes a lot to put all that together.
Yeah, it's fun because I was, yeah,
Oh, we still have to review October.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, it does take a lot. The budget's a lot more than
Yeah.
it was a few years ago. Even, he starts and it's like, okay, let's do a playback at 25. Keep your expenses close at 25. It's like, oh, I'm going to be able to get through this pretty quick. No, that's not how this works at all. Even trying to keep it close to 25, that's not how it works. So now we've got Sconset Golf end of year. Sconset closed October 20th. It is now done for the season. For the month of October, I was over in payroll on both. Basically, what we want to do is shut down the golf shop, clean it up. At that point in time, Jack asked if he could have some help, and I was like, no problem at all. Whatever you need for people, we'll send them out. Box everything up, send everything back. Whatever needs to go back to Callaway or TaylorMade goes back that way. Whatever else we have, we've got in here. So at the end of the day, our year-to-date numbers look good. Rounds are down and covers are down for year-to-date, but the rounds are over last year's. That's good. I still got a problem with the way these are counted in Sconset for some reason. As our members go out there to play, I don't believe it's tracking it very well. There's something not quite right there. So I got to dig into that a little bit more and figure out why our software is not picking up on this. Because I think our rounds are closer to what they are for budget. Revenue is up 15%. Cost of goods is up 17%. And as you can see, it's golf shop, food and bev, both of them. Gross profit is up 15 over budget. We did well on the income side. Again, like we've been discussing all year, those numbers have been pretty stagnant the whole year. We've been right around that number since the beginning, since we opened, and have done well since. Payroll expenses up 1%. Expenses are up 9% for a total expense of 4%. And the total income is up 27% over budget. We've got a couple things that we're talking about, with the payroll taxes, the insurances, stuff like that. We're going to start doing a bigger percentage towards it. We budgeted for that in this budget. So at the end of the day, I think we're going to do a lot better next year, budget wise, where our numbers are going to fall on better expenses. But we beat our budget numbers, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
But again, we had a good summer. So
And winter projects include the handicap, improving the walkway up, the handicap parking space in the asphalt, not asphalt, but the cement walkway up on the ramp there. And then in the springtime, irrigation and tee work. It was already approved. We are going to update pricing on the irrigation work and get back to you in a capital meeting on that because those prices are changing pretty quickly.
I'll put that.
They only go one way,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, we're trying to get them back down, but they're not going back. But the handicap ramp and the handicap tagging is on a calendar. So that is done and done as far as we're concerned. The tees are not on the calendar yet. Like I said, we still want to talk to you guys one more time.
The good news is with the greens renovation work at my comment, we pulled out the old greens mix, which probably about $50,000-$60,000 worth that we're keeping, and we can use that for tees over Wisconsin. So that'll be good.
Out of curiosity, you said you packing stuff up and sending it back to Callaway. You can load up your shop with merch and send it back.
The other stuff.
Yeah, that's a key selling incentive that they offer. They want you to order heavy and early, and to take the fear out of being stuck with old inventory, they let you send it back because they change their models every year.
Yeah.
So they want to keep the rotation going. Switching gears to my comment. Bring that up.
My comments. So
October was a tough month as far as weather-wise goes.
weather-wise stuff. Yeah. So my comment golf rounds are down year to date, but covers are up. Food and bev, like we talked about a bunch of times, it's just still doing the same thing. Like it did, it had a bump this year, which is what we were really hoping for. Revenue is up 5%. Cost of goods is up slightly 5%, but like we've talked about a million times, it finally makes sense. We're selling more merchandise. It makes sense. Gross profit is up 4%. And then the good news again, payroll is still down 6%. Total expense is 6%. And at the end of the day, income is up.
So the key thing for Sean and the team have done a great job. We were about 120,000 behind budget and revenue in October due to the weather. We were able to mitigate basically half of that on expense management. So between cutting back hours and saving on some of the other expenses, that 120,000 negative top line only turned into about negative 62,000 negative variance bottom line. So it was a tough month. Year to date, we're still finishing strong. It's we'll finish probably about, well, if you take out the ERC money, it'd still be about $1.8 million. So
Yeah, at the end of the day, my company did, but we were really slow in the beginning of the year, you guys, as you know, and then July and August, we really, really did well. So it's amazing how two months when everyone's here and next thing you know, we've turned it around. So I would like to do better in October. We were in the black, which is good, but we'd always like to do better. So we'll see what we can do for next year with the budget that we've got that you guys approved. It's everything we need.
and
So
we started the year 343 members.
343.
And we do not sell, obviously, as you know, we do not sell any over the year. We've been losing about 8 or so per year. We have 520 on the wait list, which the last sale off the wait list was somebody that joined the wait list 2015.
Yep, 2015.
And so there's been, we're not proposing any change to the membership sales policy at this time.
But the numbers are 343.
343.
And you anticipate another half a dozen will go.
Yeah, that's what I would think. That's what we're about at. Anywhere between 10, 12, maybe 15. And then you get some that want to add their wife or their husband. Like you kind of get a weird switcheroo too. It's like you'll lose 12, but then a couple people will be like, oh, can I add my husband? Yeah, you can. You've got the membership. So you can add or delete.
Some information for you. Sankey had a big drop in membership level this year. So they actually are letting in 16 people this year for the first time in years.
Was that after the vote on the assessment or?
No, that vote hasn't come yet.
I mean, Sean and I talk about it. We look at some of the numbers and we wonder, you can see the general economy's challenges, and then but the fact that we're 30 miles out to sea in a place like Nantucket, there's so much noise in that number. How much of it extrapolates out here? And so when we see some of the metrics down of maybe revenue per round or pro shop merchandise purchase per round, we track some of that. But it's hard to compare it to industry norms given our unique situation.
I hate to call you the dream team, but you keep coming up with these great numbers every time you come.
Well, I'll tell you
I don't want to jinx you.
Well, the scary part is we had a terrible spring weather-wise, and then the dry summer basically got us back to par. But if we had 5 rain-out weekends in the summer,
Yeah, you
it could be 100,000 a
But
day.
you still manage, you take
Yeah.
the numbers seriously, you take the job seriously. And I used to get a lot of people coming in on a weekly basis, sometimes daily.
Yeah.
And now I don't at all, and I love it.
Well, I appreciate that, but the challenge is if we had a very bad spell in a summer month like July or August, the variable costs are hard to dial back because we've already brought our staff out and all that kind of stuff. So you'd save some on the margin, sending some people home for half a day or a day if it's raining, but it's tough to recover from. It's a challenge being in partnership with Mother Nature.
And I'll leave it that when there is a problem, which is very rare, you take it very seriously and you get back to them, me, Christina, and I really appreciate it.
Okay.
It's been pleasant.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
We have one thing left is the warrant authorization for the capital funds transfer for. I don't have anything here, but.
Are you sure?
It's inside the other here.
Okay, so, sorry. It's for $131,641.97.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any questions?
And this is for
The warrant authorization
the
for.
rescission.
Capital, yeah, capital.
Already
we
approved.
discussed, that we, yes.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that is it for you guys.
And just some quick housekeeping stuff, if I may. Similar to prior years, with propose, no in-person December meeting, then January virtually to review the 2025 numbers when they come in, if that makes sense. And then, last year, we did not have a golf meeting for January, February, March. If that makes sense. We will be in touch about scheduling a capital committee meeting in January.
Yeah, we need one more capital meeting in January. We've got a couple of things, and we want to bring up the cost increase in Wisconsin for the irrigation system. I want you guys just to be aware.
I'm sure it'll be quite modest.
Our proposed food and beverage closure for the winter is closing on Monday, the 22nd of December, reopening on Monday, February 2nd. We're going to refinish the floors in the dining room and also allow for some staff vacations. So it's it's basically the whole month of January from just before Christmas.
The golf shop and golf course are still open. Just food and beverage.
And the simulator downstairs.
In the simulator downstairs.
And we can have a bar service for the simulator if what. And then the February school break of the week of the 22nd would have the food and beverage closed for that week too. Just because there's been no business the last couple of years in the school break week. It's been good.
And we publicize the closing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put that everywhere. We'll make sure it's
So
on our
then when
bulletin
you-
boards.
In February, March, or is it gonna be like a couple days, 4 days, like?
It'll be the same schedule we'll try to keep. So it'll be what we call 3 and 5. So there's 5 lunches, which is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then the 3 dinners, which is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And we've been consistent with that for years. So I don't want to change that. I think that's fine. We change. So as soon as we open back up, that's what we'll continue to do. That works for us. So.
Look forward to reopening.
Okay. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Excellent job, guys.
Thank you guys very much. Congratulations on Falmouth.
Oh, thank you very much. Look forward to it.
Good luck house hunting.
Good.
Well, if you do as good a job with the budget as you do with buying a house, I'm sure it'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see.
I found that what you're buying, that's up and going and ready to go, right?
It's going, so it was privately owned and the town bought it maybe 20, 30 years ago and then leased it out to an operator for the last 20 years. And it went out to RP and then we've been on it and got it for a 10-year lease with a 10-year. So we pay a base rent to the city plus a percentage rent to the city. And we're responsible for most of the capital on the property. So there's a good team there. We'll rehire all the people. There's a really good team there. And so I look forward to it.
I think you know what you're doing.
Oh, yeah, so far, so we'll see.
Done it once before, right?
Yep. Well, thank you very much.
All right, guys.
Great Thanksgiving, everybody.
Yeah.
And a Merry Christmas and a Merry Happy New Year.
Well, that's
We
fine.
won't see you for a while.
We'll be on the phone in January.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please join us.
Thank you all.
Can I ask you to sit here only because that is our camera? So everyone online will be looking at your back if. Sit in that seat.
Thank
Let me just make sure I've got everyone where we need to be. Julie, you are now a panelist and so are able to talk. I just want to make sure we have your volume.
Yeah, there we go.
I see that. Thank you.
Thank you
Can you
so
hear me?
much. Yes.
Yes.
We can. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
No, sorry for not being there in person,
No.
but
problem.
Siobhan is, so.
Yes.
First, thank you to all the commissioners for having us here today. My name is Siobhan Manny. I'm a representative of the Wisconsin Trust Board. And first, we are so grateful for your support in purchasing the Field of Dreams. We are really excited to be in partnership with you. And when I say that, I represent the whole board, not just myself. What we hope to accomplish today is talk about establishing a common vision for the Field of Dreams and converge on partnership.
You're just gonna have to tell me when to
Yeah,
move this
you
or
can,
you can.
yeah, oh, okay, you can, yeah.
This
So-
is what we've received in the
Yes.
Yes.
We've all seen this. and-
Yep, we can move this. So, we talked to over 400 stakeholders during our strategic planning process, and we, updated our mission from land conservation solely and taking care of the Sankaty Lighthouse, which you all know and love, to including focusing on the commercial core. Then we've gained enormous support from our membership base of 750 sconseters to meet our capital campaign goals. And that enabled us to join with you in purchasing the Field of Dreams in advance. Yeah.
It's just a little slow tonight.
Yeah,
So-
and you can advance anything from that. And we can move forward. The Field of Dreams has always been an empty lot in Sconset where families converge to play. And we can move forward from that. Our board voted, and you can move forward from that. We were encouraged to be fast.
And I appreciate that you had all that. It was very useful information.
Okay.
And so I think we all read it, but it was very helpful to understand
Yeah,
where you
no,
were.
Yeah.
it's of the essence. Our board voted to purchase the 2 lots on New Street, and the Land Bank Commissioners voted to purchase the 2 lots on West Sankaty. Our vision was a single contiguous public park that encompassed the 4 lots with common design and usage policies. So I want to share why we thought this lot was important. And, forgive me if the reasons that you haven't heard of it. You could stay back there. So first, this particular lot is a critical entrance to welcome people to Sconset. So if you're coming up by the V, you're coming into where Snooki's benches is on the right-hand side. This provides a really important convening space for Sconseters. There are not a lot of convening spaces other than Larson Park, which is mostly full, pretty much, Memorial Day to Labor Day and beyond. Third, it would help reduce density on what is a really busy corner. And I just want to point out this corner is going to become busier with the restoration of the fire station, which is across from Field of Dreams. And that fire truck coming in and out of the fire station at New and West Sankaty is going to be doing a turnaround right there at the corner that we're looking at. So we started with some foundational principles that this would be a community neighborhood park, that it would be kept with the majority of space open, that there would be access points on New Street and West Sankaty. And what we envisioned was a connecting path which would enhance public safety and get the our village walkers and dog walkers out of the path of the road and out of the path of the fire truck turnaround. You'll notice also on West Sankaty and New, there are no sidewalks. So that's part of our vision. So for the pocket park, we envisioned sustainable plantings in the corner there, chosen for durability, ease of use. You guys are the experts. You've been doing this for a long time. So we're really hoping to build and draw and learn from that expertise. And we can advance, I think. Yeah. So we work closely, I think we can advance one more, with Claire over the summer, who's excellent and wonderful. We visited the park many times. We met with 9 abutters, who I would say were very equally enthusiastic. We did some preliminary cleanup, removing debris, repairing the fence. The Field of Dreams has always been a really beloved space. And we learned that the bamboo was particularly invasive on the New Street side. And having measured it this week, actually encroaches up to 26 feet into the lot, which is pretty deep. So we've been working on common usage policies, and I think Claire is working on a sign permit. We've added a few benches and a bike rack. We've opened up the West Sankaty side where the land bank post currently sits. So we are really eager to work with you on a concept that would be in keeping with the land bank's principles of fiscal responsibility and land stewardship. We want to plan with you and develop a vision, a shared vision for what this space would look like. So you can advance, Rachel, I think. So what we envision is not major: to remove the bamboo, to add a few plantings, secure the border with the butters, and create a welcoming, attractive place for village walkers to sit and have that Nantucket Dam. This is just a rough image to kind of get us started.
Siobhan, do you want me to, sorry, this
Yeah.
is Julie. This is, looks like it's the old presentation. Do you want me to share
you-
my screen with the new concept?
Presentation.
This isn't the one that I sent over on Friday, unfortunately.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that.
Okay,
So,
so if, I don't know who can let me share my screen, but if I can do that, I will get you the right.
To share your
I
screen.
do think it's important.
That is hugely important. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we know that a picture is worth 1,000 words. It's sort of like, what principles are we talking about? And I thought this would be helpful to get us all on the same page.
I'm wondering more. Yeah.
Okay, so
You're gonna let me, if I make you the host for a second,
I think that'll work.
that should work.
okay.
Go for it. Now you can try and.
All right, so that is, can you see that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay, so that's one of the drawings, and then there's another one. I don't know if I can scroll up or if I have to reattach, but that's the first one. Siobhan, if you'd rather have the other one, let me know.
We can go to the other one.
Hmm?
You can go to the next one.
See, there we go. Can you see that?
Yeah.
I know
thank
sometimes. Okay,
Julie, I appreciate that. I was wondering about that actually when I just saw that.
Yeah. So we realized that initial estimates for the bamboo removal came in high. We think it's worth doing to enhance the ROI and gain full use of the lots we both purchased. We can work on the details of this plan, the vision, the budget. Our vision isn't complicated. It's something like this. A place we can both be proud of. It's simple, easy, fiscally conservative, that is open mostly, with a place for our elderly handicapped to just get through one side to the other. We think this is something our 750 members would support. And we think it's a great opportunity to showcase both of our organizations in our 40th year. And we really look forward to working with you on this, and love to hear your questions. Thank you so much.
Do you have a budget? Those are large trees, or is that 10 years from now?
Some of those trees, so I would say these trees are not exactly to scale. This is a concept image, not to scale. We have consulted with Ben Shampoo, who's also an arborist, on which trees to cut and save. There are a few. There's some invasive honeysuckle that needs to go.
those trees are trees that are currently there. Those are not new trees.
Yeah.
They exist, so
Yeah.
that's existing.
They exist. So what this actually shows is over where you see the two people running kind of
Yeah.
towards that. There's a little clump of trees that is dying. It's a honeysuckle, which is invasive, and just working and talking to Claire and Ben Shampoo and Jeff, I think Pollock as well. That's kind of, we're looking at clearing that out. But there's a great maple tree with shade here, but these trees that, yes, are very mature, are not new ones. They are ones that are there.
Fair warning, just don't touch the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Question.
Or you can do it now, huh? Okay.
It's the stick it to the right. So it's a space that sits between the butter Catherine Watts and the start of our property line.
I would really like to go out there
Good idea.
and just look at it.
Yeah.
Because for some reason I don't seem to be driving past it at the moment. But I'd like to make have a meeting if we could and go out there.
Yeah, and I strongly agree with that, because I learned one thing from this was I didn't realize that bamboo would come in that far.
Right.
Because I was in favor of keeping the bamboo, but if we're losing 26 feet of land that we just purchased, then
But was it 100,000 to remove it? 80.
And we'd split that, of course.
What are, in your initial discussions, how do you see the sharing of the costs?
We were hoping to be a 50-50 collaboration. I think that we're together, we're more. This was a big investment for us. Your budget's a lot bigger than Wisconsin Trust, so that's part of our appreciation doing this. But I think, you know, we're looking at something pretty simple and we thought that it would be within range to share the costs of development. We know any new planting needs irrigation. We know that's not cheap. So we're aware of that. I think maintenance wise, you know, maybe it's easier for us to maintain. Maybe we should, I know they've got the land bank crews going out there for the playground anyways. We're really open to discussing the terms, how you want to set. Julie, do you want to add?
Yeah, I think you've covered it. I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing, but yes, I think that I heard you say at the end the maintaining, and I know that that's one of the things that's open in the agreement and discussion we've had, but we've talked a little bit about how to work on, you know, just regular ongoing maintenance on this property versus the wonderful extension trails that you've cut from our Heller Trail out to Milestone. And again, just working to collaborate on both of those. But yes, our ideal would be a 50-50 partnership. We realize and fully recognize that we've each bought 2 parcels here. But that is not the approach that the Sconset Trust is looking at this or you know, envisioning and communicating this. We are out there and communicating that this is a, you know, joint property with the land bank and wonderful partnership with the land bank and appreciative, and you know that it's an investment you all have made in Sconset.
And that was really celebrated to our members, by the way, and promoted very nicely through our newsletters.
It would be nice when we go out there that if we had a rough idea of what, are we talking 200, 300,000? I would like to know.
We've been collecting estimates and Claire has really done amazing footwork on that. When the bamboo came in high, we kind of stopped. I don't know how many other people on the island are capable of doing that level of excavation. So I think we've talked about various aspects, the root seal, which I think it's from
Right.
versus just a mow versus a pull out. So I think a site visit would be helpful, but we've given a draft MOU, which Rachel's given us some feedback on. So it's kind of like, you know, if we're in this together, we'll sort that out and do something, whatever's reasonable. Because it's across both of our lots pretty even.
It does seem like it would be difficult to untangle if we don't go in 50-50. All right, we're paying for things over on this side and you're paying on this side. Seems like the best approach would be that, but it does mean that we would have to agree on a budget.
Yes.
Going.
Yeah, I just.
Absolutely.
We're at a place now where we've got a first estimate, and I encourage you to go take a look at it. You know, it's your land, and you get a feel for what would be appropriate. You know, we also could put a land bank post at this end. We have the land bank post on West Sankaty, but we could put one at the welcoming corner too, to just signify that part of the park is both of ours.
And we just moved a boulder in there to put in Field of Dreams. So yeah, we would love to have the land bank, you know, have the land bank on one side of that boulder and the trust post on the other side, and then, you know, kind of a welcome.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you.
yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Once again, you're always stepping up to the plate.
We don't know when the fire station comes online, but when they're testing a smaller truck that's going to come in and out. But what I envision is like, that's going to be doing this. So that's why this path is really important, and making it look welcoming, I think, matters to the village. And I think it's a nice co-branding opportunity for all of us.
Yes, so we have a suggestion to have a meeting, maybe a posted meeting, so that we can all go out and see it. I would love to see, you know, kind of visually, I don't know if we can put some stakes on where this path would be, just so that visually we can see
Yes.
where it would happen.
Great idea.
I think I'd like to see it staked out, just general idea.
Original budget would be helpful to me too.
Provisional.
Right.
When you're asking for a provisional budget, can you just define what exactly you're curious, like what costs you're looking for to be included?
I mean, I'm expecting to see everything,
Okay, so
what it costs,
from
because
to bamboo to
I
installation.
believe we've
irrigation.
entered in
Okay.
several other projects, which I thankfully can't remember right now. But it starts with this number. Well,
We can break it down, right? So I think like, you know,
Yeah.
getting rid of bamboo, we do have some divots to fill in, and wet new plantings and cost, irrigation. We do have some of those initial numbers, and I think knowing that you are interested, we'll get some more estimates, get them sharpened up for you.
And
And I think,
go ahead.
sorry. One of the good things with some of the numbers we've collected so far, and again, it's, it's all investigation and discussion, and Claire has been wonderful at getting a lot of the numbers as well. But I know, for instance, I spoke on the irrigation side, and there's alternatives in there. Do you just put in temporary drip lines for new plantings and let it go? Do you do something more? So we've kind of run the gamut of full on to, kind of a very low touch just to make sure everything sets. We've been very fortunate, I think, with the grass that's there, and that's what's been recommended to us is pretty hardy. It doesn't have irrigation on it now. We obviously had a very, very dry summer, and it was definitely looking a little rough, but not discouraging, not dead or anything. So we want to make sure that in all that we're looking at, and now that we got your first reaction to the bamboo costs, kind of looking at alternatives and what alternative costs are, so we can have kind of a spectrum to look at and decide how do we want to move forward, what's the best way, both aesthetically and for use of the property, but also from a fiscal and fiduciary standpoint.
Julie, I'm so glad you mentioned that. You didn't steal my thunder, but I 100% agree with you. I personally am asking if the land bank can consider more alternative plantings that are, as we get into a drier climate, and more to try to get away from relying on an irrigation system and planting with sustainability in mind, and drought tolerant native plants, more natural settings, so that it can survive whatever different climate changes that we have coming forward. So I really appreciate what you had to say, and I appreciate an alternative idea like that.
We're all for that. Our budget's a lot smaller than yours.
And you'll be happy to know our irrigation company is good too, because when they're giving some of the numbers, they said, you probably really want to think about this, because, if you look at putting in a full-on sprinkler system, and, I don't know who thinks that it's going to get a whole lot better than it was this summer, but if you're in drought, you just put in a sprinkler system that you're not using. So, we all have to, unfortunately, we all have to face that challenge. So.
Thank you.
With everybody nowadays carrying aluminum reusable water bottles, do people put in drinking fountains any longer, or is it's just passe?
I don't think we
Do we have one down in Codfish Park? We actually do have one.
We have a water fountain. I would not recommend water fountains. I would recommend bottle fillers for that exact same reason. If we don't feel like we need one, that's fine. Water fountains are very challenging to maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody's carrying a water bottle around, so.
Yeah.
I think we believe in your concept with minimal design, drought tolerant, sustainable. A lot of the plantings that we did at the playground are really working well. And we could do something similar. This is just an idea.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to be kind of on board, and we'll go track down the details.
Yeah, I like Resi. To quote my fellow commissioner, less is best.
So we can leave it in with staff to coordinate with you on a public meeting that we can all be there. And
Is everyone here next week? Just out of curiosity.
Yes.
I am.
Okay, so we will aim to try and get something together next week. And if we can't, is everyone here the following week?
I'm away the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Okay.
Yeah, Rachel, I don't know if you want me to participate or not, but I'm not back till Wednesday night. So I don't need to be there, but if for some reason you all want me to be there, I could be available Thursday and then Friday morning.
Okay, when we post a public meeting, it has to be 48 hours, so it's gonna
Okay.
probably be Monday or Tuesday. So yeah, that's great. That's great. Thank you for that information.
Thank you for your time and the opportunity.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Yes. And thank you for your partnership. This has been a huge win for the Wisconsin community, and the feedback that we get has just been really, really incredible. So we appreciate you all for making it happen, and for Rachel for helping getting it over the finish line, which was not an easy task.
thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank you for sharing your screen and picking up on that. I was thinking that when I looked at it, so I appreciate that very much.
Sure. All right. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Susan, you back at the table.
Rachel, you need to take back host, or I need to, do I assign it back to you?
Working on it.
I almost left and I almost stopped your meeting.
You might have to give it back
It
to
said-
me. Perfect, maybe. Are we still here? We're still here. This is quite the adventure.
I think
I'm glad you brought
we-
that
It's
Well,
not
it's
that.
not that, it's.
You know, in our ongoing transition land, we are now on Wi-Fi night and everything is, like I'm having trouble even moving the mouse. It's painfully slow.
So we will jump to Mill Hill since that's where you are. And we'll go back to the 47 Jefferson.
No, we can go to 41 Jefferson because I don't have anything to display for that. So the execution of the contract for designer services, Eleanor.
So-
Negotiated on it today.
And just to be very brief, so we had one excellent, one and only one, but excellent proposal from SMRT. We did conduct an evaluation. Our evaluation, we have to do that even if there's just one. So we've done that, and I have a letter from our OPM at Vertex, recapitulating the results of the evaluation, which, you know, probably even if other proposals were submitted, they would have come out on top. So the next step would be for you to approve the issuance of a contract that Rachel could be authorized to sign, subject to a satisfactory fee negotiation.
So move.
Do I have a second on that?
Second,
Second. Do I have any questions for Eleanor?
thank you for doing this, Eleanor.
The good news is this is,
Is this what you
we're looking at a schedule.
Thankfully, I may have, well, sadly, I might have missed this. Did I work on this one, or is this
We figured out a way to make
the
it.
earlier one? I had my time, and Eleanor was instrumental in streamlining.
Well, this is good because we're ahead of schedule at this point.
That was the
I
word
had,
I was,
I had
yeah.
a schedule and this puts us about 2 weeks ahead of schedule because the next meeting was going to be when the contract was approved. So we will confirm the fee at the next meeting.
Okay.
But the contract should be in place by then.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Sweet.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nicely done.
Okay, so let's see, I'm going to try that again.
I think you want, yeah. Let's go there.
Yeah, but it doesn't always give me this group of options.
Uh-huh.
So it seems to only like to do that some other time.
Okay, so now we're on to Mill Hill exercise equipment proposal.
Okay, so we have a couple of things with Mill Hill, and I'm going to actually start, I think, with this because I think this is a fantastic map, which basically shows what we've been looking at for Mill Hill. I know this is a property we, acquired from the town some maybe a year or two ago, and it's taken us a little while to see how people are using it. We've taken a good look around and see what invasive species there are, what trails we might want to change, things that we think are working really well. And staff spent a lot of time out there this summer, and this is what we've come up with. There's an existing trail system here, which is fantastic. This is kind of an open space. And right now the parking is right here. We're looking to potentially move the parking up towards Prospect Street, right? Prospect? And to move it towards Prospect Street because there are some, littering issues and people tend to linger in that area. And if we pulled it closer to the road, we feel like we would have less concerns about what was happening there. And there's really no attraction to it being right there. So we're suggesting we're moving the parking lot closer to the road. And then we've looked at existing trails here in this area and have considered building on them to have a couple different loops, which could be fun. None of this is going to be exact. These are all sort of approximate locations, approximate designs, just so you know. And then in addition to adding this trail system in here, we may need to pull it away from this house a little bit. We're proposing to put in an access way through here, and we've talked to the DPW about the idea of putting a crosswalk potentially here, which would increase our access points, because right now the main access is over here. But if you really want to access an exercise trail, this is kind of a great way to do it. So we had thought about basically 9 stations, 7 of which have equipment, the 7 of which have equipment down here. The other 2 are up here. This is 1 starts with stretching. 2 goes to hill starts. Of course, we're not going to have a trail down the middle of the hill. It's just an example of where.
That's the sledding.
Yes,
Yeah, that's
yes.
exciting.
This is the sledding hill down into Dead Horse Valley. So it's hill starts. So basically there'll be a sign somewhere that says, run up the hill. And then you can come into here, and then there's a series of equipment. And I know I sent out the package with all the different types of equipment. We were able to find somebody on state contract, which is unique for outdoor equipment. And it would go 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you'd have sort of 9 stations along this new trail network. If the commission is in favor of that. So the other thing that we've really been looking at in Mill Hill is invasive species and or non-native species. And we spent a lot of time mapping these this summer. And this is just giving you an example of some of the different type of non-natives and invasives that exist there. Obviously, it's a pretty non-native habitat to begin with. So that's why we're really not overly concerned about putting in new trails. And this is something that we will be gradually working on over time and thinking through, how we can phase some invasive species treatment, but we're not necessarily going to be wholesale changing this habitat to something else that it's not. So, Neil has a question.
I remember a couple of years ago walking down the perimeter, and many of those properties are draining all their excess water onto now land bank land with PVC pipes. And I'm wondering if that has perhaps encouraged some of the invasives to get a little extra water. Have you?
We did go down there. We have talked to those people. There is less of that happening. I haven't been down there recently. We did have extensive discussions with them about it. It would be good to go back and check. There was a big influx in invasives in this area during the construction.
It seemed like a lot of seeds and everything were carried down, and I will donate some caps and some PVC glue if that would help.
Yeah, most of those did go away. We should go check though and see if any have reappeared magically. And so I just want to make sure that I have hit all of the different topics. Yep. Jasper Lane exit, Northeast landscaping. Oh yes, this is the one that I was missing. So we're thinking about doing some forage plants, beach plum, etc., in the northeast section of the park, which is up in here and maybe up in here. And I'm not exactly sure what we were saying, Mark.
No, I was trying to figure. So that's not where the exercise things.
No, the
are in the
exercise
different
trails are down in
Okay,
here.
I got it now. I see the
And
red
this
dots.
is really kind of densely vegetated right now and somewhat unusable.
Oh.
So we're really going to be improving that area. And incorporating some food foragey type plants with berries and things like that.
Yeah, it's nice to have some beach plum put in there because it disappeared everywhere.
It did. Beach plum has definitely gone away, and that's kind of sad. It's a great plant.
A lot of people make jelly and stuff.
Truly a Nantucket.
Swamp Lane then. It's full of beach plum. Oh, did I say that on television?
You're not supposed to tell anyone your secret spot.
Well, it's just one bush, but it's dying.
So I believe you saw the scope and proposal for the exercise equipment. So we are looking for an approval to move forward from the commission on, basically not necessarily doing this, but starting to go broader with this, discussing it with the neighbors and the abutters and taking it to the community and looking for feedback before we actually embark on it.
I make a motion to go forward.
I'll second that motion.
Discussion, I just give it.
The only thing I think you might need a little bigger parking area.
That's exactly what,
Yeah. that's great.
one thing that I had on my list here.
Yes.
They're definitely, I mean, this is an area that we could put in a small parking area or we could put in a larger one.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I'd just like to say that it was amazing and fascinating to me how large this property is and how I've never used it. I'm sure that it does get used, but it sits right, when you look at GIS, it sits so central to the island. And if it could get used the way that the Hinsdale complex gets used, I think that it can be an invaluable piece of property, and I just see us continuing to build on it. And so I really appreciate all the hard work. That's a lot of identifying plants.
Yeah.
And you can just see how much work, and I think it's a testament to the way the land bank works is so quietly the staff does all this work and then brings it to the commission, and it's like, wow.
Yeah.
So really kudos to all of you who work so tirelessly behind the scenes to have everything thoroughly vetted before it comes. Appreciate that.
No problem. Thank you. I will pass that along to property management and environmental because they are the ones who did the bulk of this work.
I'd also like to say that I can't believe how expensive that the outdoor equipment is for what you get, but it's what it is, and it's a state approved thing, so that's great. And any other comments before we go?
Yeah, just, you mentioned that we would like to, is that Vestal or Vesper?
Vestal.
This is Vestal.
Okay, that right there, that access, which is very underutilized. I think you said you were thinking about DPW and approaching them for a crosswalk. Well, whether we get the crosswalk or not, I would love to keep that open and going.
We don't, this does not actually exist. So we would be working with these abutters to say, look, we want to make a small trail, single track trail that comes in here. It is quite a nice entrance.
Mhm.
It could be a really great entrance, especially this is probably the most underutilized part of the park.
When did you say we don't own that?
We do own it.
Yep.
There's no trail.
Oh, yeah, right, the trail does end up with
It looks like,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
it looks like right here, this is all gone, and there's gonna be a massive complex or something.
Yes.
going on.
Yes, there was some changing of hands of properties in this area.
Yeah, it looks like everything is gone.
Yes.
Mhm.
So,
So, okay, great.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Very exciting.
Yeah, thank you very much. So I would like to talk briefly about the parking lot at 28 Washington Street. And I'm happy to bring it up to refresh anyone's memory if you need me to. It is the one that was in the location of the Mariah Mitchell Aquarium. And there was a lot of discussion over time about what should be done in that area and whether or not we should retain the parking or, eliminate the parking. And so over the course of the summer, initially there was a split vote by the commission. And so we were asked to bring this back after looking at what happened and sort of keeping half an eye on it in the summertime. And we did that. And it was actually heavily used. It was mostly used, we believe, by sort of the same three people pretty consistently. We did end up putting up commercial parking signs, as I wrote in staff memo, or no commercial parking signs. But I think that was a bit episodic because of the construction next door. And so we wanted to bring it back to the commission for additional discussion and see how you would like to handle that going forward. The options right now are that it could become parking for management vehicles only, which would mean that we would basically block it off. It could just become grass or something, that was just non-parking, or it could remain as it is right now, which is really 2 to 3 parking spaces, depending on how wisely people park. And so I thought I would bring it back to the commission if anybody had any additional questions.
I say leave it as it is.
I say leave it as it is, and also those three, you say there were three consistent people using it. I noticed that they're not using it now. I've
Again,
been-
this is purely a summer issue. I don't think we're going to have any,
Yeah,
it's only in the summer.
because it's been wide open the last number of times I've come through.
I would anticipate that's the case, is that it will be parked in the summer and wide open in the winter.
I mean, it's free parking, isn't it? And first come, first served, and no one else gets to use it. And we can't police it because that's not what we do.
No, but you could, those three people, if they're there consistently, you could put a kindly note under the windshield wiper. And that could possibly take care of it.
How about one handicap? How about one handicap spot? That would be
One
mine.
handicap spot, you gotta put 10 feet on each side.
Right, then you lose it.
And
Lose
again,
the-
you put
lose the
handicap doesn't necessarily, if it's not monitored, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's just free parking.
It's free parking.
I mean, let's call it what it
You
is.
can't go anywhere from the handicap spot unless we.
Right, that's
Yeah.
the point. And there are plenty, actually, there are a
Oh,
lot of
that's right.
handicap spots.
I don't mind the term free parking. This town is lacking in parking, so
Mhm.
I don't have a problem with having some free parking somewhere in town. And of course, we did have the problem with the neighbors while they were under construction. That solved itself.
I don't anticipate that to be an issue.
Anything else, do you?
No, I mean, if there's going to vote, I think my vote's the same.
Alan, do you?
Yeah, no, I don't see any problem leaving it as a parking space right now. I mean, I used it myself the other day because I couldn't find another space and I said, oh, there's one. I can walk back to,
So I'll make a motion to leave it as it is.
I second that motion.
Right, I still have a comment. While I do enjoy it, I still think it is not what the landmark's about. And I don't like when I drive by and see cars and I can't see the water. We're talking about open space and, places where people can have vistas and walk. So, my vote will stay the same. Sounds like. So how does everybody vote? John?
Aye.
You?
Nay.
Alan? And I nay. So,
Okay.
the other
Should
side
go.
of that is that we do have property there that people want to visit.
Right.
It does provide a space.
It does,
for
but if
them.
the three people are using it all summer, they're not
Well-
able to use it.
That's that's a problem, and
Yeah.
it's a different kind of issue, I think, you address it directly.
And we are kind of we just, Mill Hill just talked about parking. So we
Yeah.
do provide parking for people in order to access our properties.
They're just not accessing more. It's 3 cars.
Okay, well, thank you so much. That was helpful. We said we'd bring it back and here we are. I'm just bringing this up. This is actually a Lily Pond schedule, or for construction, but what I want to talk about is, the wedding request that was included in your meeting packet. And, I think the reason that it is coming to the commission is based on the size, which, anything over 25 people, we were always bringing 35. Thank you, Eleanor. But with that in mind, this was 90 people, so it came to you. We do have a significant concern in the date, which is 9/11/27. So, which falls right within this phase 5 construction, yes. So, I mean, it could be over here. I take it back. It's not over here. It's over here in fall 2027. And we're just concerned that there's a conflict here. And so we're worried to commit to something that would potentially have a major conflict.
Just in my exchanges with the requester,
Mhm.
I made it very clear that there was a high probability
Mm-hmm.
that although the restoration work would cease in the summer, it would resume in September, and that therefore the space would not be available or suitable for this, and this person has acknowledged that. So they're fully aware that if the work is resumed, that they will have to go elsewhere. They have to have a plan B, which they do.
Right, so this could be approved conditionally
Correct.
with a plan B.
I make a motion not to approve it.
Is this the person requesting this? Is this the one we've been battling for? It is.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the name out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should.
We either should go into the wedding business and make that permanent location for 90 plus and have use it all the time for people if they want to have a wedding reception, do it there or not do it. And I just don't think it's
We have
appropriate.
not approved anything. I just wanted to, there have been a couple of wedding requests there that have been under 35.
Right.
This person said that they had seen a bunch of chairs associated with an event. I said, well, that was not approved.
Right.
So we do not approve anything that's in excess of 35, much less with chairs. And also, when people request chairs, whether it's on the beach or a place like this or the creeks, I make it pretty clear that they're really only for people who have difficulty with mobility. So.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about 90 people. I just think that's a lot of people in one location. The idea is that if there's a wedding going on, people can, it's still open to the public. You can still get around.
I think the bigger concern is it's under construction and liability. If someone
Well,
falls in a divot.
I think we can take out the construction and say it wouldn't happen without, if construction was going on, like it just, that would be conditional.
That's horrendous.
But I'm just concerned about 90 people in
Yeah.
one, that's not a large location. I mean, even 90 people at Creeks Preserve would be a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
And-
never permitted that.
And Lily Pond's just way smaller than that. Plus, we have the construction. So we have one motion to not to approve. Is there a second?
Definitely.
Okay, and so then, any more discussion? Anything in the positive side that anybody wants to mention?
Well,
To
they'll
support
believe in
this?
marriage, I think.
I can say one thing, positive, which is that, there are chairs, but it is only a half an hour. Is the proposed ceremony, which is a positive.
And they're coming and leaving with the chairs. The proposal is that people literally going to carry their chair from.
Oh,
So
really?
there wouldn't be a lot of infrastructure and it is very short. Those are my pros, my wedding pros. My major wedding con is I'm very concerned about the conflict with the construction timing.
Even if it wasn't in construction, I'm concerned about 90 people.
I don't care.
I mean, moving
Setting
90,
a precedent.
well, and moving 90 people in and out takes half an hour.
Yeah.
They're turtles
Exactly.
with their chairs.
Parking.
And parking, where are they all parking? And, you know,
Well, just another caveat. So whenever I deal with these things, like right off the bat, I'm like, no tents, no amplified music, under 35 is staff level maybe. And transportation has got to be car share. But, public transportation to arrive on foot, we do not set aside, you have to, like, I'll say you can use a couple of spaces, but that one tiny parking lot that serves all of Lily Pond Park, we want the bulk. First of all, the entire park is still open to public, so this is an exclusive use. I'm very clear about that stuff right off the bat with people. Like, I email them, here are the caveats and the bullet points. So they need to understand no parking, gotta arrive by.
Yeah, and I think when you have less than 35 people, you can manage that. When you have 90 people coming to a wedding, it's a little bit more difficult to manage. So we have a motion and a second to not approve this. All those in favor, of not approving? Aye.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Long range objectives.
So my update on long range objectives is pretty limited tonight. We are just continuing to brainstorm guidelines like we have been before, and what works for collaborations and what doesn't. And as we continue our foray into collaborative purchases and acquisitions, or projects, and how to manage those. So in a way that works for Land Bank and Land Bank Act, and that we can be within the legal bounds of our act. So
Would this be an appropriate time to ask how the long range objective, maybe short time objectives with the deer?
oh, sure.
I just,
Yeah.
how's that going?
That is going very well. We have an inspection Monday with the health department, which we're hoping is going to be the final sign off.
Great.
An HGC.
Well, we need to, you and I need to talk about that. I thought that you said that we were, anyways. So I believe perhaps the final sign off will be the health department, right? We're getting very, very close.
Impressive.
We don't have a firm date, but we're hoping for sometime next week.
And if you ever do get a firm date before, in between a meeting,
100%,
you will
it's gonna
email
go-
all of us.
Yeah, it's gonna go live and then we'll come to you first. So we've been very hesitant because things are slowly falling into place.
Well, they're quickly falling into place.
Yeah, yes, I shouldn't say
Very
slowly. I shouldn't say slowly at all, but it's
There's
just
a lot of
very,
moving parts.
yes, and it's very systematic. But
You
things
had
are-
any interest in the, somebody to process it?
Yeah,
yes, and so Dean obviously is on board as the manager, and I sent out 5 job offer letters last night.
5.
it's incredible.
One is picked up as paperwork.
Fantastic.
That's just right, because I was the one that said, hey, we may have to bring commuters in to fill this position.
Mhm.
We ended up getting 5 people applying.
It's great.
And then we actually have staff, land bank staff, who are significantly interested in this, and so we're gonna shift their schedule for the winter so that they can spend a day at the processing facility.
Amazing.
I'm in awe of how quickly we moved.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely in awe of how fast we moved on this project. And I love the thing in current today, the Nourish Nantucket, our partner in collaboration on this whole thing. Now Remain has stepped up to say that they're gonna write the check to increase the amount of food that can go out.
Which is really amazing.
So it's
Yeah.
a really good thing happened today with our collaboration. Now Remain is almost a partner.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, there's just been a whole suite of amazing things that have come out of this partnership that aren't, directly related to the initial, we're gonna purchase this building together. There's been all these side
Good.
results, which are fantastic.
Amazing.
So,
Okay, transfer business. I have a motion.
Make a motion to approve transfer.
Right.
Second.
We have
All those in favor?
Aye.
5 releases of liens, 2 signature of each, please.
Those are, yeah. Those, there you go. Start with those. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, do we have, a motion on the consent items?
I move approval.
Second.
Any questions on the consent items?
Can I make a comment?
Please.
We are so excited to have the lobster trap tree again, and we've had so much interest already in it. And so I just want to thank Dan Kronk
Yeah.
for bringing that to us again and
It's
saying,
magical.
No, I think it's, can we minute our thanks to?
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Good idea.
We could even write them a
So
little
we
thank
can-
you.
Write them a thank you.
Write them a thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
I must have 1,000 pictures on my phone.
I guess the Wisconsin Gazette said that it was the most popular picture, and so it's on their profile until January 1st.
Oh,
It's on the Chamber of Commerce, one of the guys. How sick is it?
On Facebook.
It's just truly quintessential New England coastal town. And so we're really privileged that somebody, that Dan came up with this and is willing to execute it, with friends and coworkers, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, he's looking for some more.
So,
Me too.
Yes,
Sorry to distract
all those in
everyone.
favor?
I
Aye.
Ben did out of commission. Is it already up? Is Dan already put it up?
He's
Okay.
looking at the 4th and the 5th of December. The next week, Thursday and Friday, of course, roll.
Do you need any financial help on?
Good question.
Or land,
Even
isn't
if it was just for manual labor, that to help them do that.
I'm sure he wouldn't turn it down to get some light. I know that he needed some more lights he was collecting. And if he could buy some, then he could just have it with that project and not have to borrow them from people and return them.
I would make a motion to put aside $2,000 or something like that. Would that be a reasonable number?
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Okay.
So we have a motion on the table to contribute $2,000 to the lobster trap.
Yep.
Do we have a second? All those in favor? Aye.
Enthusiastic guy.
Yeah. I mean, it's on our land and it's seemingly about one of the few things we're allowed to do on it. I mean,
He's the first one to come up with something that everyone loved. So kudos to him.
yeah, exactly.
That he's ever come.
Still we provide the electricity.
No,
You don't have
the NIR.
We don't have electricity there anymore.
Yeah. Still has that question.
The last one.
Okay, all right, the commissioners, do you have any additional questions or concerns? Oh, yes, sorry. Do you have any additional questions or concerns?
Great job.
I think we covered the additional question and concern earlier.
Yeah, thank you. My concern.
Up on New Lane.
Yeah.
The corner of Woodbury.
Mhm.
We've got a beautiful pear tree there that needs to be trimmed.
Okay.
Is that on that piece of property that they gave us?
Yeah.
On the corner of Woodbury and New. Yep.
There's two trees there, but I'm not sure they're both. Yes.
37 Woodbury.
Thank you
So-
for that.
We're going to put the Howell Lane thing on the next thing to talk about.
Yeah.
Because there are two local people, who we all know. They were quite upset, but the person was quite aggressive.
It might be just a great time to talk about encroachment policy, you know, and how we manage our property and what the commission supports and doesn't support.
And yeah, it might be nice to hear, I mean, it's been a couple of years since we created that position for encroachment officer. And just kind of an update on,
That's Claire, isn't it?
like,
It is.
it is
She's
clear.
very good at it.
And she's done 1,000 other things too.
Every job.
Yeah, that's everything.
But we really have never had an update on, you know, like, hey, this is the number of encroachments that we fixed. And it was a big deal and we authorized a position for it.
Yeah,
You know, so it might take a couple of weeks, a couple of meetings to get that.
and I really like the fact with Claire, she will, like, you know, I might come on hard on a subject and she'll push back and say, well, did you think about this? Did you think about that? And I was like, no, I'm still angry that this is happening. And she'll say, no, well, think about it like this. And I really like her measured approach. Anyway.
Okay, great. And anything else? Okay, we are going to enter into executive sessions for the following purposes. Purpose 7, to approve executive session minutes. Purpose 6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, the value of real property. Discussions in an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the land. We will be not reconvening an open session at the conclusion of the executive session.
You need a vote to go into it?
And we can have a vote to go into executive session.
So move.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Right.